the poll. If you're going to look at an AP poll all year in college basketball, this is the one, because going back to 2004, every national champion has been in the top 12 in the Week 6 AP poll. So by now, we kind of know who the best teams are. We've gone through Feast Week. We're 9-10 games into the season. We've kind of seen all these top teams go up against at least 2 or 3 other really good teams. And this is the closest we're going to get to March Madness, right? When we get into conference play and these teams are playing at home or on the road, it's not the same as to when these teams are at NBA arenas or when they're traveling, they're playing back-to-backs against teams that they really aren't familiar with. So this is why I think the stat is so successful, because this is kind of the closest thing we get to March Madness. So we'll run through the top 12 teams, and I'll tell you guys who I would bet to win the title. Number 1 team right now in the AP polls, the Arizona Wildcats. They're 10-1 to win the title. Arizona's very impressive. Top 10 offense and defensive efficiency team. Very good resume up to this point. I still have my concerns about their backcourt, though. Jalen Bradley and Anthony Delorso. Is that going to be good enough to win a national title? I don't think it is. Arizona, I like their defense. I like their front court. I like their big men. I like how physical they are. They're shooting the three-pointer very well. But their backcourt with Bradley and Delorso, even though they're experienced, they're good players, don't think it's good enough to carry Arizona to a national title. Michigan right now is number 2, and they are the heavy favorite at BetMGM. They are plus 340. The next closest team is Arizona and Purdue at 10-1. Don't buy Michigan now at plus 350. If you're betting Michigan at this price, that is insane. You could have gotten them at way better numbers. You're also getting Michigan at their peak. They're playing as good as you could play right now. It's unsustainable what they're doing in all of these games. They're up like 30 at halftime at every game. They're winning every game by 30, 40 points. It's just not sustainable. Big Ten's a good league. Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, you got some good teams in there. They're going to drop some games. They're going to lose some matchups. They're going to drop in the rankings. Their numbers going to drop. Don't bet Michigan at plus 340. They are good enough to win it for sure, but I'm not betting them at the current price. Duke is 11-1 right now to win the ACC. I've been impressed with Duke. Top defensive team in the country. They're in the top 5. Cameron Boozer is the real deal. He's going to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. Much like Arizona, though, it comes down to the backcourt for me with Duke. It comes down to Foster and Evans. How are those guys going to perform in the brightest lights? Because the deeper you go in March, as great as Boozer is, the good teams are going to be able to take him away a little bit, limit him, force other guys to beat you. And I just don't know if those other guys in Duke are going to be able to do it. So Duke, 11-1 right now. Wouldn't bet the Dukies. Iowa State is 12-1, and they are rising as high as any team. Outside of Michigan, Iowa State probably been the highest risers over the last couple weeks. Top 6 in offense and defensive efficiency. They're 3rd in the country in three-point shooting. They're a veteran bunch. They do everything well. But kind of this core group of Iowa State players has been together for a little bit. Taman Lipsey, Joshua Jefferson, Momcilovic, all these guys have kind of been there. We know what they're about. And when they get to March, I just don't think it's going to be the same team that we're seeing now. So on paper, Iowa State looks really good. Big 12's a difficult league. I think once they get in a league play, some teams are going to figure them out. And it's not a team that I want to get behind. UConn, however, is a team that I want to get behind. And quite frankly, I'm surprised we're getting this price at 11-1. UConn would be a bet for me right now to win the national championship. Last night, they had all 15 players available. All their guys were out there. Reed, Mullins, Ball, Caravan, all those guys. And you still got that psycho Danny Hurley coaching the team. UConn's scary when they're at full strength. And this is what they do. They're winning all these big games in the non-conference when all their guys are out there. Beat Florida last night, went to Kansas and beat them, beat Illinois. UConn's tough to deal with. I like the Huskies at 11-1. Purdue is 10-1. Purdue's really good. Their offense is probably the best in the country. I think they have the best player in the country in Braden Smith. Defensively, though, I don't know if Purdue's good enough to win a national title, so I'm out on Purdue. I think the bet to make right now in college basketball for a team to win the title inside the top 12 is the Houston Cougars at 14-1. This is an awesome price right now with Houston. They're kind of doing the same thing last year that they're doing this year. Where during Feast Week, they went out to Vegas. They didn't look overly impressive. Then they get in a league play, and they only lose one game. And then obviously they lose in the national championship to Florida, have the upset over Duke. This is Kelvin Sampson's most talented team, and it's not even close. He's got 2 potential lottery picks on that team with Chris Senack and Kingston Flemings. He's got maybe the best backcourt in the country with Emmanuel Sharp and Milos Uzan, who've been playing a ton of college basketball. I love Houston's team. Now is the time to buy the dip on the Cougars, 14-1. Gonzaga, I also really like it, 13-1. I think they would be worth a bet at the current price because we know when they get into WCC play, they're not going to be challenged by anybody. One of the most intriguing teams Mark Few has ever had because for the first time probably ever, he's got a better defensive team than he does offensive team. And I think that makes the Zags extremely compelling. And he's also got one of the oldest teams in college basketball. Michigan State's really good. They're number 9 in the AP poll this week. They're 25-1 to win it all. Tom Izzo, which you got to love. Elite defensive team. I just don't think they're good enough offensively to win a national title. BYU, I'm out on it 30-1. People are going to love them because of AJ DeBanza. They had a great comeback last night against Clemson. That team's not good enough to win the title. Louisville and Alabama, who are 11-12, I kind of put them in the same category. They got a stud guard, Michael Brown for Louisville, LeBaron Philon for Alabama. Both guys probably going to be lottery picks. Elite offensive teams. Neither team good enough defensively to win a national championship. So BYU, Louisville, Alabama, wouldn't waste your time with those three. The bets to make: Houston, UConn, Gonzaga to win the national title at current price. I think one of those three teams out of the top 12 is going to win it all.